Hey, what up, everybody? steviebreech coming to you. Today, cruising on Twitter, and folks over at NoDQ.com asked the question: did the WB fail to build up Survivor Series? And in my mind, it wasn't even really a question. I felt like yes. Now, when you look at the whole card, there's a classic Survivor Series match: Team Orton versus Team Barrett. They put in a lot of build behind. That's being pushed real good. The championship push of Mark Henry is one of the highlights of WWE right now. His match against the Big Show. That's going to be a lot of fun. They have a lot of undercard matches. They're using a lot of the guys on the card. It's nice to see a lot of the guys get to shine. But if anybody out there is buying the Survivor Series, they're buying it for one reason, and they're buying it for the same reason that a lot of people who are more than likely going to buy either their first or maybe their second pay-per-view of the whole year, that being WrestleMania being the other one. Everybody shows up for WrestleMania every year. It always gets the huge $1 million buy rate. For the one reason that it is WrestleMania, everybody knows they're gonna push up, all the stars out there, and it's gonna be it's pretty much unable to fail. It's as good as it's gonna get for the whole year. Nothing's gonna live up to that. There are shows that come close, but there's just that special thing about WrestleMania that makes WrestleMania. Now, when The Rock shows up, that's a little bit different. I know The Rock was at WrestleMania, but this is the first time The Rock's going to wrestle, and it's going to be the first time we've seen Rock wrestle in a long damn time. And people are real anxious for this. They've been waiting for it for a long time. A lot of the people from the Attitude Era, came back from, out of their, wherever they've been, and they flipped on TV last night. Now, just to pick at the Monday Night Raw that was out there. Now, like I said, a lot of the Attitude fans from that era who don't watch anymore because they can't stand Super Cena and WWE being pushed towards the little kids, and they want their wrestling product back, or they're not going to do it. They don't want to watch a PG rated show. That's probably the main complaint about wrestling right now. If it's not bad angles or anything else. I think if anybody, has ever said they stopped watching wrestling, it's more than likely just because they've said that they don't want to watch a PG show anymore. But they got a huge buy, not a huge buy, right? They got a huge rating for Raw with The Rock showing up, which he deserves. There's a lot of people out there that have been waiting to see him. He is a huge star, and he deserves everything that comes along with that. But I felt like as I was watching Raw that they were doing everything possible to make sure anybody that was tuning in just to see The Rock would change the channel. I think a lot of people tuned in at the beginning of the show, and the beginning of the every hour, just trying to make sure that they wouldn't miss him because they weren't going to put him on at some weird spot. I think everybody knew that he would be involved somehow in the main event, but when he first showed up, they didn't want to be there, and they kick off the show with the Michael Cole and Jim Ross challenge, which has nothing to do with wrestling. So more than likely, people tuned in, saw that, and got the hell out of there pretty fast. It was funny to see JR dance, but the whole thing went on a whole long time. And my whole thing is that when you bring a guy back like The Rock, you're gonna have a whole bunch of people tuning in that don't normally watch it, and I think they lost a lot of those people. Then later on in the show, you have Mick Foley come back, and this is the first time he's been in the ring since he's been there, and he doesn't really deliver much of a promo except for he brings John Cena out, and he brings out, This Is Your Life, which, looking back at it, standing on its own, had its moments of, that made you want to laugh, but it had other moments that just was like, this is going on way too damn long, and, this is, pretty dreadful. And once again, anybody that was tuning in to see The Rock probably didn't stick around long enough to see him come out there and hit Foley with the rock bottom, which was pretty sweet, but it just took too damn long to get there in my minds, and got him out of there and got people that were watching the show fired up, but more than likely the people that were just wanting to see The Rock and get a little bit of the taste of wrestling had to find out that they missed it via Twitter and had to find a way to watch it on YouTube and the highlights later. Why they didn't, pump that first hour full of wrestling matches, show off guys like Dolph Ziggler, which are really able to get in the ring and work, and if people were actually able to see a good match, they would stick around and and check it out. Maybe hopefully get hooked. I know when I took a short break from wrestling, it was a one DVD show, WrestleMania 20, that got me hooked. That made me want to come back and watch Raw, and one Raw turned into two Raws, and next thing you know, here I am, years later, and I'm back into this after going almost a year to a year and a half of not watching it at all. It only takes one, and you get hooked again. That's how it works in my mind. That's my whole problem. That was Monday Night Raw. Now with the whole writing and booking of the show that makes no sense at all. They've been around longer than that, but when this first really got started was Hell in the Cell, when he got involved, when Miz and RTruth got involved in the Hell in the Cell match. That was the triple threat between Del Rio, CM Punk, and John Cena. John Cena got locked out of the cage by Del Rio and Ricardo Rodriguez, which had nothing to do with Miz and RTruth. The Miz and RTruth got involved in the finale of that match, and helped beat up everybody after the show. That led into a match for Vengeance, which was a tag match between Triple H and CM Punk. One of the best wrestlers of all time, and one of the most popular wrestlers of today. And these guys weren't able to win this match on their own. They had to have Kevin Nash come back for, I guess, his third run-in of the year in a main event, which set up the whole Hunter feud, which is pretty exciting. But when you have big matches on pay-per-view and you're tuning in to see it, you get pretty damn pissed off at Kevin Nash coming in and wrecking these big matches all the time. I know that, he helped Del Rio win the title for the first time, and that was exciting, but then he came back to the next pay-per-view, and then he was gone for a while, and now he just came back at Vengeance in a row. It's the third time in the matter of months that he's done this, and hopefully we will get the payoff at TLC with a damn good match from there. But, I mean, it just says that, Awesome Truth, they weren't able to win that match, and now they're moving into this other match with Rock and Cena at the pay-per-view at Survivor Series. That was followed up by them coming back out later, helping cost John Cena the title. Del Rio won again. They didn't finish him off, but they helped him get to the point where Del Rio can hit him with the title. And after that, then it started the whole Cena feud now. So now they had the match on Raw, and they were able to beat Cena 2-on-1. No, they didn't. They lost by disqualification because RTruth hit him with a water bottle from earlier in the year at the Capital Punishment, whatever that pay-per-view was, where he hit him with the water bottle, then hit him with a water bottle again, and then beat the crap out of him. Laurinaitis came out and said he got to pick anybody that he wanted, and out of anybody out there that he wanted to pick, he wanted to pick The Rock. I guess to bring him back. Everybody who reads the sheets, or anybody that's ever bought a ticket from WWE. I live in California. I've never bought a ticket from Ticketmaster to go to the Madison Square Garden, and they mailed me an email telling me The Rock was coming back to fight months ago, before tickets even came on, that he would be involved in a match with Cena. So almost everybody knew that he was coming back, so it didn't really make sense that he did. But the way it looked is that he wanted to beat Miz and RTruth, and the only way that he could beat him was that if he had The Rock come back. So The Rock comes on the next night, the next week, and he's debating if he's going to do it. First he says he's not going to tag up with them. Then he says it's for all the fans out there in Twitter land that he's actually going to take this match. That night they have another match where it's Cena versus The Miz, 1-on-1. Cena beats him. There's a run-in by RTruth, and he beats RTruth. He beat both guys in one night in the matter of minutes. Why, if this guy couldn't beat him on his own, why is it that he had to go get The Rock in order to do it? It doesn't make any sense. Then they go the next week on Raw. That's followed up with, they have a tag match where he has a lesser tag partner in Zack Ryder, and Cena gets beat, but they have to cheat to beat him again. It pretty much shows you that they have nothing behind Awesome Truth. These guys haven't won a match yet. They lost the match to disqualification when Kevin Nash came back, like I said, against Triple H. They couldn't beat John Cena in the 2-on-1 match. They had to cheat to win right in front of the ref's face. They couldn't do anything on their own. So what is the driving power that makes anybody in the world believe that Cena needs The Rock in order to show up. So now, people are starting to, talk about this and about how, bad this booking's been. So now when they show up on Raw together, now they're acting like Cena didn't even ask him to be his partner. They're acting like, they're forced to become some sort of a tag team, and they just lay both of them out on their own. It's just dumb. It's just it doesn't make anybody believe that this match isn't about anything other than The Rock and Cena trying to get along. I mean, they don't even have to be fighting. Um, Awesome Truth. They could be fighting. Bob Holly and Barry Horowitz. Just two guys from back in the past. It doesn't matter. It's not about who they're fighting. It's about themselves. So most of the time when people get excited for a pay-per-view, get excited for to put their money down and watch something, it's because they want to see revenge. They want to see the good guys that have been getting the shit kicked out of them week after week after week have some sort of, payoff to what's been going down. Now, if I was doing it, and I'm nobody, I'm just Stevie Breech. I'm not saying I can do it better because you got to get everybody in the back to agree to this. But John Cena has lost more matches this year than I can ever think of. He's lost main event matches to everybody. He's put Del Rio over. He's put Punk over countless times. John Cena to me is a stand-up superstar for the one reason you never hear him involved in backstage politics. There was that little bit of a crap that, he didn't like the finish at Mania, but he did it, and it was a good match. But you never hear him complain about putting people over, because at the end of the day, he knows he is the main guy in the WWE, whether he's the champion or not the champion. Wherever he is on the card, he's still a guy that WWE is going to put on all the posters, all the t-shirts, the backpacks, the lunch boxes, the thermoses. It doesn't matter. John Cena is always going to be that main guy. Now, why didn't they have Awesome Truth just beat the shit out of him, to the point that he had to ask The Rock for help because he wasn't able to get the job done on himself? Clearly, he can beat these guys, and he doesn't really need The Rock. It doesn't make sense to me at all. I mean, if he's able to beat him by himself, why bring this guy back? It doesn't make sense, especially if they don't get along. They had the handshake at the mutual respect back at WrestleMania, but I was never a big fan of that anyways. It felt like it screwed up the whole year for me, knowing that these guys were to fight at the next Mania. I know that, it boosted ticket sales and interest, and, the packages flew off the shelf as fast as they could. But it just messes it up for me. I just know that there's no reason for John Cena to be involved in the Rumble, in the title hunt around Royal Rumble time. There's no reason for him to be involved in an Elimination Chamber match because he's not going to win the title. And he can't win a chance to fight for the title because he's already fighting Rock, and it's not like Rock's going to be the champion because the match is already booked. So it's not like he has to fight for that chance in order to do it. But that's just me. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people out there are really liking this. I'm surprised this video went on for 13 minutes. If you got to this point and you disagree with what I'm saying, or you agree with it, I always like the comments where people disagree more than they do. Leave me some video responses to what you feel like, and we'll go from there. This is Stevie Breech. Thank you very much.